Okay, let's be real. Have you ever ignored a phone call only to immediately text back? Hey, what's up? It's super common, right? But here's the thing. It's probably not about being rude or anxious. Today, we're going to get into the fascinating psychology behind why your brain might actually be hardwired to prefer texting over calling.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? That sudden jolt, almost like a mini panic, when your phone just starts ringing out of nowhere? You kind of just stare at it, let it go to voicemail, and then, boom, you grab it and text, hey, what's up? Trust me, you are definitely not alone in this.
But what if that feeling? What if it's not actually social anxiety? What if it's your brain's own protective instinct kicking in? See, psychology suggests your brain isn't trying to avoid the conversation, not at all. It's actually running this super efficient program to manage your energy, protect your focus, and make sure your thoughts come out right.
So yeah, let's totally reframe this whole idea. Think about it this way. What if this preference isn't some kind of bug in your social software, but actually a built-in feature of a really deep thinking mind?
There's this massive gap between what people think is going on and what's actually happening. The myth, right, is that you're just socially anxious or you're avoiding people or maybe you're just plain rude. But the reality from a psychological standpoint is so much more empowering. It's that you're a deep thinker, you're great at managing your own energy, and you're a communicator who really, really values getting it right.
So let's be absolutely clear about this. Avoiding a random phone call is not a weakness. It's actually a sign that your mind is built for that continuous, deep kind of thinking, and you're just instinctively protecting that focus. It's a good thing.
So what's the hidden logic here? What's really going on inside your brain? Well, it pretty much boils down to three key psychological concepts that explain exactly why your brain might prefer typing things out.
Okay, first up, we've got something called cognitive control. This is basically your brain's CEO. It's that powerful ability for the thinking, rational part of your brain to step in and say, whoa, hold on a second, to your gut reaction or your emotional impulse. It's all about choosing a careful response instead of just blurting something out.
And this is exactly why texting feels so much better for some of us. A phone call, it demands an immediate, on-the-spot reaction. But texting, it gives you the gift of a pause. That little bit of time is everything. It creates that mental space you need to actually think, to gather your thoughts, and to respond deliberately instead of just reacting.
And that super valuable pause? It also helps with our second concept, which is cognitive bandwidth. Honestly, the easiest way to think about this is like your brain's daily battery life. You only have so much processing power, right? It's a limited resource. And a lot of us are, without even realizing it, super protective of it.
And an unexpected phone call. Man, that is a massive drain on your mental battery. It just completely yanks you out of whatever you were focused on and forces your brain into this fast reactive mode. It can feel so depleting. So when you choose to text, you're not trying to be difficult. You're just choosing to engage when you actually have the mental space to give a proper response.
And then, finally, there's the whole issue of sensory overload. See, when you're on a live phone call, you're not just hearing words. Oh no. Your brain is working overtime. It's analyzing everything. Their tone of voice, how long they pause, are they happy, are they mad, all those subtle little shifts in mood.
Honestly, for anyone, that can be completely exhausting. It's kind of like trying to have one conversation while a dozen TVs are blaring in the background. But texting just strips all of that extra stuff away. It gets rid of the mental noise, it removes that pressure to perform on the call, and it lets you focus on one thing, the actual information, the message itself.
Okay, so this all leads us to the ultimate benefit of preferring to text. It's not just about avoiding all that mental drain we talked about. It's about striving for something really important: clarity. It's about the power of precision.
Look, if you're a deep thinker, you know your thoughts aren't simple. They're often complex, they're layered, and trying to spit all that out instantly on the phone. It can feel like you're trying to cram a giant 3D object into a flat 2D space. It just doesn't fit. Ideas get oversimplified, and what you really mean, well, it gets lost in translation.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It says, "You aren't hiding. You are making sure your words match the depth of your mind." I mean, that's it, right? The goal isn't to hide behind a screen. It's to take the time you need to make sure the words you pick truly match the depth of what you're actually thinking.
Really? Texting gives you this amazing, deliberate, three-step process. First, you get to structure all those complex thoughts with zero pressure. Then you can actually edit your words. You can refine them to make sure they're clear and they have the impact you want.
And finally, only when you're good and ready, you hit send and communicate your exact meaning with precision.
So, look, the next time somebody gives you a hard time about not picking up the phone, just remember this. Your brain isn't flawed, it's not broken, it's expertly protecting your mental space. It's regulating your energy, and it's giving you the time you need to process the world with the depth it deserves.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about, doesn't it? We've just totally reframed this one common habit. So what if some of those other things you think of as your flaws, what if they're actually your greatest, most misunderstood strengths? Something to think about. Stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next one.